Hey 131B, as we move into our final 2 weeks of class, I want to let you know this is our final assignment. First off, I want to say thank you for all the hard work you've put in. I know this has been a challenging semester, very challenging times during this pandemic, and I'm proud of you for making this far. Some of you came in with a lot of knowledge and bumped it up. Some came with very little knowledge and bumped it up. Some came with very knowledge and had a hard time, and that's okay because it's been a struggle for all of us. I'm proud of all of you. As we come to this final project about objects, I want to encourage you to think outside the box, push yourself, and to write something clever, write something cool. Because we have a lot in the last assignments, we have all the little building blocks of it in place. And I want to show you what I built last semester. I went way above what was required. I started off just by playing around with objects and turned out that as I learned more about them, I found new things to explore. So I just kept on building and building and building. I didn't start out with this idea of building this thing, but I'm kind of proud of where it is, and I want to show it to you. So my book class, I actually ended up rewriting this as words, and I'll explain why later. But it's you could call yours book. It's fine. So Python 3, I'm going to use this interactive mode at the end of running my script. Words.py, and let's just see what the output is. And as it runs, okay, it gave me some output. And let's just see what this code is. So I have a class, that you're going to all want to create. You need an init method to define a class. And my class has a bunch of different methods. It looks like I have a union, intersection, different. I have a lot of different methods. You only need 3, but I'm going to encourage you to build more. Okay, so I have a bunch of methods. There's not a whole lot. Maybe there's 10, 8, or something like that. Okay, I have some other functions that looks like it lets me open up files and read URLs and things like that. And especially the URL part, if you want this functionality, I'll just send it to you because we ran out of time this semester. We had 2 extra weeks last semester. We had a little bit more time to do stuff like that. So let's see what this is doing. What this does is that it creates a variable called Urantia, which actually reads in all the text of Urantia. Okay. And then what this line is saying, and I'm going to skip this for a while, this is actually just a function that takes in a string and tells you how many vowels are in that string. And my next line is, I'm going to take an object, and it looks like it has a method called rank. Okay, I have a rank. And interestingly, this method takes 2 inputs. One is vowels. Well, wait a minute, vowels is actually a function. Well, as it turns out in Python, we haven't talked about that functions can take in as parameters other functions. So what this is doing is send to the rank function a function called vowels, and I want 20 of them. So I want to get the top 20 words, okay, that have the most vowels, basically is what this says. So give me the words with the most vowels, 20 of them. And then from that, take the 5 longest of them, and then from that, reveal something about it. So that the reveal is what prints it out. So the 5 longest words from the top 20 words with the most vowels are this. So these are the words that have a lot of vowels, and these are the longest ones of them. Oh, pretty cool. And then the second one says, okay, it's going to do a regex. See, we learned about regex, right? So give me your regex parameters, i.e., and we could change this. We could change this to i.e. EIT, or EI whatever. Right? We could do this kind of thing, plus. We could do whatever we want. But anyway, this does a little regex of the words E before I, right, instead of I before E, and give me the short ones, the 10 ones. So the 10 shortest words that include, and so that's kind of cool. What I liked about the way I built my words class, this book class, was that I could compare different books, okay? And I even got Aaron Brick to put in the user's ABIC resources a book called under.txt. So just to let you know, under.text is available in the same thing, words. Okay, I'm going to nudge it this way. Remember, it's under users, Abric, resources, under.text. So you can find it there too if you want to play with that. Oh, couldn't find that file. That's because I got to do that. There we go, words, it's in there. So I could say, I'm going to say, what is the length of Urantia? And that's 21,000. That's the way my algorithm did it. I had a fancier algorithm before, but I made it simpler here on this version. Urantia and under. Let's compare what's under. And that's only 4,500. But let's take a look at this. What are the length? What are the words? How many words are in common? Urantia dot intersect under. Whoa, so there's a big percentage of the words in, and I could actually do a lot of queries, you know. I could actually say that, okay, of the words that are intersecting under, I should just use the control backspace. My class also allows method chaining, which I thought, you know, this is something that I did not design ahead of time, but I realized this is possible if I rethought the problem. So I ended up building this whole thing and then saying, wow, I can make it method change. And I'll explain how we could do that. But intersect dot, and let's look at the common words. Common, or let's look at the least common words, -20. So I could put in, these are the least common words. These are the words that are in both that are least common. And look, queries like this actually find things like somehow I in my thing ended up one time in both as a word. And I don't really consider that a word, but that's interesting. Like jerk came up one time in both books. Very kind of cool. You could ask all kinds of questions. It turned out, because of this method chaining, that essentially what I had been developing was a query language that is based on like a chain pattern. And I ended up building these things once I realized the possibility of building a query language, that I would need additional functions to implement actually a query language. So it's actually really was kind of an exciting project for me, and I encourage you to go push the envelope of your learning. If you're curious about how I created method chaining, was that essentially what I did was that I created all these words into an object called words, right? But that all my methods return an implementation of that class itself. So in other words, every time I asked for the longest words of something, what I was return was another words object or another book object. Yours is going to be called a book object, right? It's going to be another book object. So that once I had that object, the same methods that I just called on it, you could continue to call on it because that object would have those methods. So cool idea, and use it if you like. So I'm looking forward to seeing your work this week. And feel free to always reach out to me, even when the class is over, for help. Thank you.